I need to eat food first. I text you.
Yeah, I know.
No, I'm scared because I have to do work. Yes!
I still wrote 10%.
We are live.
There's nothing better.
All right.
That was my plan B, Jason.
So this is the, okay, cool. And
We've done it. I'm scared.
Can you see me in the?
Yep.
Okay. So hopefully someone can go ahead and log into live. Let me know if you can hear me. I don't know if this little thingamajig is working. There's a 30-second delay between me. So.
I'll text you when I'm ready for him.
All right, so welcome to the Blood Sugar Blueprint. Thank you so much for coming, and thank you everyone for being patient with me while we figured out the tech issues. We did it. So this is about how diet, stress, and survival mode are wrecking your health. Before I get started, there is a QR code up here, and if you are live, then there is a link that you can click and you can receive the entire deck of slides so that you don't have to take notes on everything that's up here. Just take notes on the things that come up for you during this session. Oh, everyone can hear me fine? Great, good. All right, so we'll go ahead and get started. So
what do I have to do?
I'm also, there's this QR code right here. If you want the slide deck, you can go ahead and scan that and it'll bring you straight to it.
Okay.
All right, so what to expect. So we're gonna talk about the stats and facts, metabolic cascade, or chaos cascade, which is kind of interesting, how it's just a piece of a really big puzzle, because everything is connected. And then 4 ways to regulate. Top 4 are gonna be exercise, rest, diet, and stress reduction, and then practical tools throughout, and we're gonna get moving. So the people behind the screen, I can't see you, but I encourage you to get up out of whatever seat you're in and move your body when that point comes. All right. Any questions before we get started?
I feel like there should have been a disclaimer for that part.
Yeah, I know. You are required to take action. No, you're not. You can if you want to. Jaylene, you are required. All right, so stats and facts, because I like to get the boring stuff out of the way. And for those that are more analytical minded, this is really good for you to kind of like put the numbers and the things together and say, whoa, okay, this is a problem. And this is something that I should really pay more attention to. So whether you are fully diabetic, pre-diabetic, or insulin resistant, you are gonna fall in here in the 70% of Americans that have some form of insulin resistance or worse. So that is a huge, huge, huge number. This is just America. And that is a scary number. So that means 1 in 3, how many of us are in here? Yeah, that's kind of scary. 2 of us at least have some form of insulin resistance. Okay, all right. 8 out of 10 are unaware of their condition.
How does that happen?
That happens because people aren't getting tested for it. So if you're just here's the thing, with diabetes specifically, you don't have symptoms until it becomes a serious problem. Until you're way past the finish line and you are fully diabetic, then you're probably unaware that you are even having blood sugar issues to begin with. So unless you are really in touch with your body and you can say, ooh, I feel really lightheaded, or I can tell that I'm like super irritable before I eat, or after I eat, I just get super tired. Those are all signs that you have some form of insulin resistance or some kind of reactivity issue where your blood sugar and your pancreas are just like, oh my gosh, there's like a whole cycle that's going on. It's in the slide deck. I'm not gonna talk about it because it's a part of trillions of processes that are happening simultaneously in the body every second. So I'm jumping ahead. Let me just continue. So 50% of gestational diabetes will remain diabetic. So that's a pretty scary number as well. Fasting glucose over 100 can cause organ damage. So I have a glucose monitor that I use at home. I love using it just to kind of test and see which kind of diets that I'm trying or different fitness or other kind of like lifestyle changes are affecting my body and my blood sugar. Fasting is probably the most important because it just gives you a good idea of where you're starting for the day. And then I also do it right after I eat and 2 hours after I eat. And that way I can see just how high it's going. And the optimal ranges for that, so fasting, you should be between 75 and 90. Anything over 100, guaranteed you have some form of damage occurring in your body, whether it's organ damage or nerve damage. Okay. After eating, it should be below 140. A1C should be under 5.3, and insulin, which is never tested unless you're with a functional medicine doctor, to my knowledge, or you're requesting it, should be under 3. So it's really cool to use insulin.
I got that test done recently.
Awesome. And they usually only run that when you are full-blown diabetic. But that number is, or this marker, this blood marker is mostly used to see what the storage is for the blood sugar. It's like the storage for blood sugar. And if it is above a 3, then we already know that you are destined to be diabetic at some point if nothing changes. So you can tell a healthy person today, if they have an insulin of, let's just say 10 for fun, then we know at least in the next 10 to 20 years, they're probably going to be diabetic. Very good chance they're going to be diabetic.
Even if they do the things that you tell them to do?
If they make lifestyle changes.
Okay.
Yes, they can definitely pull that number back down, and they can keep their fasting in good level and their A1C at a good level. Any other questions? No.
Even if their grandmother's diabetic?
Even if their grandmother's diabetic. I love you, Jaylene. So that's a really good point. So genetics are only 10 to 15% of the picture. The thing is, we tend to follow the same habits of our parents and our grandparents. That's why they call it generational and, genetic. But really, it's just the lifestyle that you choose.
I have a question on
Yes.
the A1C.
Yes.
I mean, I've known that I've had type 2 diabetes for quite a while,
Right.
at least 20 years. And I've never been able to get it below 6.
Okay.
What am I doing wrong?
It's not that you're doing anything wrong. Okay, it's just that there's something that's still out of balance that's causing it, driving it to be higher. It could be something completely unrelated to blood sugar. I'm going to get into that in just a second with the metabolic chaos cascade. So just hang tight to that question a little bit more. But it might be something else outside of your blood sugar that's causing it. It could be a symptom of something further, deeper. High cholesterol, among other imbalances, can be a result of high blood sugar. So it's just an example of one condition that if you go to the doctor and they test you and they say, oh, you have really high cholesterol, they're going to put you on a cholesterol medicine, where it could be something else, such as blood sugar issues or dysregulation that's causing your cholesterol to be higher than normal. So then if you regulate the blood sugar instability, then your cholesterol will level out all on its own. That's just one example. There are so many other possibilities with that, but everything works together. We are one system that's working simultaneously together cohesively. Okay, so the blood sugar roller coaster, it's more like a cycle. So everything just keeps on cycling over and over and over and over again. Eating bad carbs, we'll talk about in a minute. Increased blood sugar causes increased insulin secretion, causes increased fat storage, low blood sugar, low energy, then having more cravings, and then you're back at square one again. And we continue to live in this cycle, especially the food cravings. That's the most intense part because it's really hard to say no. You feel like you can't say no. Like, I can't, I'm so irritable. Or I'm so low energy, I need coffee. I need XYZ, pulling for. All right, so this is one of the trillion trillion chemical reactions that are happening in the body at any given point. And I just want you to take this one process. It's a little complex, right? Is it complex? There's a lot going on there. Okay, now we're gonna add in, with this one out of like trillions, stress, poor sleep, a go lifestyle, Jaylene, irregular meal timing, poor dietary choices, and lack of exercise, just to name a few.
But my HRV is still great.
That is wonderful. I'm here for you. These start to throw everything out of balance. So this becomes way more chaotic, and it causes a metabolic chaos cascade where you have hidden stressors and imbalances in the body. If they're not resolved, they turn into a problem in another place in the body, and then the metabolic chaos ensues, meaning you are starting to create fires everywhere. Your body's like, fire, fire, fire. So you're having all kinds of symptoms. And this is blood sugar related, but it's also everything related. So you are talking about having chronic fatigue, poor sleep, pain and inflammation, like constantly having back pain or sciatica or plantar fasciitis. There's so many different possibilities there. I mean, endless symptom list. So once things get too far out of control, you start to crash. And it's very hard to get out of that complete crash. It is possible, but it takes time and consistency. So that's one thing I can stress to you the most is, in order to regulate your blood sugar and create balance in the body, it's going to take a lot of time and consistency. And a lot of people are like, well, I was consistent for 3 weeks and I saw no changes. Like, that's great. Keep going for a year then, because clearly you've caused so much imbalance that your body needs more. It needs more consistency. And a lot of it is starting right here. So the thoughts that we tell ourselves. So we'll get into stress. All right, possible symptoms of metabolic chaos, but these can also be hand in hand with blood sugar dysregulation. Again, I don't know if I stress this enough, but everything works together in the body cohesively. So one system affects another system and another system and another system. So we can't just look at only blood sugar. So high cholesterol, weight gain or loss, sleep disturbances, chronic fatigue, poor concentration, mood swings, high blood pressure, anxiety, depression, digestive issues, allergies, pain, inflammation, arthritis, hormonal imbalances, anemia, low thyroid, and of course, blood sugar imbalances and diseases. Cool. That's just a tiny list. So how do we fix it? So first we'll start with is it a fact or a myth? You can't work out too much. Bob, can you work out too much?
Lately, yes.
Yes, you can. You can work out too much to the point where it causes too much stress in the body and you're doing more harm than good. Does that mean you should not work out at all? You should definitely be exercising.
Well, actually, today I exercised. I checked my blood sugar before, and it was like 124 or something like that. And I went out and exercised for an hour, just walking, and it went up to like 138.
It went up. Interesting. Okay. All right. That is interesting. Normally, what happens when we exercise, it helps to regulate the blood sugar. You notice that the numbers go down. So you may have been causing your body more stress. You may have gone to the gym in a higher stress state, and then by doing so, it caused more. Maybe it was what you were doing while you were walking.
Well, I'm going to test it because I think one of the medications I'm taking raises my blood sugar at night.
Okay.
So
many variables.
Just
right?
a theory.
Yeah, there's so many variables. Exercising, how often? Daily. Does that mean you should do intense workouts every single day of the week? Not necessarily. So you're going to have to find your magic number, but I would just say incorporating at least 3 days of intense movement a week is the best thing that you can do for your body. Now, what do I mean by intense? Is doing something that's going to involve strength, balance, and coordination. Okay. So you're going to find exercises that you enjoy and that feel good to you. There's no perfect exercise. Now, I used to think that HIIT was the right thing for me, so I love doing HIIT workouts. And then I realized HIIT workouts didn't love me, caused my body more stress. But I love yoga, and yoga loves me. So you have to find the workouts that work out for you. You have to work out to work out. All right. So rest. Rest is sleep, but also taking time to just stop or slow down. Hi. So fact or myth, you can make up sleep the next night. Rachel. No, you cannot. So the sleep that you missed out on last night or the night before, you can't make it up. And it causes its own little fun cascade of issues, including heart disease being a major one, but it also drives your blood sugar up very high, very, very high.
So like an optimal time to go to sleep, like I know people have heard different things about like the number of hours you get before midnight and like what you typically recommend.
So there is, again, there is, just like exercise, there is a magic number. So I might need 9 hours of sleep to feel amazing and wake up the next day like ready to go and have ample amount of energy that gets me all the way throughout the day. Whereas Bob or Chris, for instance, they might only need 6. Men are different than women. They have different needs, but it's about the quality of sleep that you get. So how long does it take you to go to sleep? Are you going to sleep at the same time every night? Is your body in a routine? So our body's like routine. We're just like babies, just like Lincoln. We need routine, and when we're off routine, our body is screaming, and it's having a fit and tantrums and meltdowns. So consistency with everything is very important. So quality of sleep. I use an Oura ring, and that is something that I think is useful to track and see how this thinks I'm sleeping. Now I have my own, I wake up, I'm like, man, I slept great. And then I look at Oura and I'm like, oh, it says I didn't. But I feel good. So it's not always accurate. And I don't want you to say, oh, hey, I looked into my Jarman or my Whoop or my Oura and it said I didn't sleep good. So that means I'm going to have a really bad day. That's just absolutely not true. So if you feel good going to bed at 10 o'clock every night and wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning, then that's the perfect number for you. So you get to pick and choose. If you're having a hard time with going to bed late, let's say you're somebody that goes to bed super late and you're always tired because you're not getting enough sleep, create a routine. And maybe 30 minutes before bed to start out with, you say, okay, I'm not going to have any electronics for this 30 minutes, and I'm going to create some kind of routine, whether it's just brushing your teeth and putting on your pajamas and just sitting there. That's fine. You can make an entire routine out of it if you'd like. But just having that same thing that you do every single night before you go to bed, right? That's easy. Brushing your teeth before bed. Yes.
So, how much space in between when you eat to when you go to sleep should you have?
So it's a standard that you're supposed to wait 2 hours between the time you eat and you go to bed. There are reasons for that, and that goes hand in hand with the dietary portion of when your body is still digesting, it can't do its job at night, which is to what's the word I'm looking for? Not necessarily reset, but you are detoxing throughout the night. Each of your systems are able to detox. They can't detox if your stomach is full of food. You're probably going to wake up the next morning hungry. Depending on what you ate, your blood sugar is going to be through the roof again, or very low, one or the other. It could really honestly be either way. But Dom phenomenon is real. And then you're probably not going to sleep as good because your body, again, is working on digesting. It can only focus on one thing at a time with digestion. So if you are sick, for instance, and you eat, then your body has to pause healing to be able to digest your food. And then after it digests, then it can say, okay, now we're going to work on healing process. We're going to work on detoxing your body now. But I'm not 100% on it, which might sound silly because I'm supposed to be the guru that knows it all, but I don't know it all, is at each hour of the night, a different system begins to detox. So if you're not in bed by 10, 11 at the latest, some of your systems may not be able to fully detox based on that. Slowing down. So as much as it is important to get good quality sleep at night and to have that routine, taking moments throughout the day, especially when you are just super stressed out or you have a million things going on, that's the time when you rest, when you're able. I know sometimes we say, I can't stop, I can't take a break, but you can't. You prioritize yourself and you say, I'm going to take a break for just a second, even if that means I'm going to take 2 whole minutes to take deep breaths. Everybody has 2 minutes. I once had somebody that was so stressed out that I had them set a timer on their phone for every hour. It would go off and they would take 2 whole minutes, or they'd set a timer for 2 minutes, and they would just put everything away because they had such a stressful job. They worked 10 to 12 hours a day, 5-6 days a week. And I said, you have to rest. The stress is killing. So breathing, meditating or praying, intentional relaxation, and restorative activities. What is a restorative activity for you, Jaylene?
I like reading.
Okay. So you could take 2 to 5 minutes or longer if you have it in a busy day to just read. And you're not thinking about anything else. You are intentionally choosing to read. That is restorative time. Some people take naps in the afternoon. I wish I could do that. I can't get myself to sleep during the day. All right. Any questions about rest and sleep? No? Cool. All right. Dawn, fact or myth? There is not one diet that is right for everyone. It is 100% unique to the individual.
It's true.
True. Yeah. So everybody's diet is going to be completely different. So my body doesn't like certain things that your body will love and thrive off of. So first of all, what is diet? Jaylene, do you know what diet is? Or anybody? Since I'm just viciously poking at each of you.
Not just the food you eat, but it's around the timing of the food that you eat and what sort of protocols you use as far as eating. But it's not necessarily, people think of diet as like restriction.
Yeah,
It's not restriction. It's the different like macros and micros that you're choosing to eat.
Right. Yep. It's simply what you're putting in your mouth. If you're not eating, that's your diet. Nothingness. If you're eating literally everything you see, cool. Seafood. Hear ya. That's your diet. Meal timing is just as important as the time that you go to sleep. Does your body know when it's getting its next meal? Because otherwise it is like freaking out saying, when are you going to feed me? And so it's going to be pulling at, do you know what it's going to be trying to get energy from? What it's going to break down in your body? Muscles. Yeah. It starts to break down the good stuff that we want to keep in order to fuel the body.
So I'm sure other people have this question. What do you think about fasting?
Fasting is good when you're doing it intentionally and for the right reasons. It's not right for everybody, and I think that there are different fasting methods that are good for different things. Specifically here, there is one proven fasting method to reduce insulin levels, and that is to discontinue eating between 3 and 4 p.m. and then eating again at 8 o'clock in the morning. And you would do a protein-dense meal when you wake up. And one thing that I can't stress enough is breakfast doesn't have to look like breakfast. Breakfast can look like dinner. In fact, I eat beef most days for breakfast because beef is going to make me feel amazing and give me the energy that I need, that when I get to my next meal, I may not be entirely hungry because it has sustained me so well. But fasting, so you're eating 3 meals in that time. You can snack too. So from 3 to 4 p.m. until 8 a.m., you're not eating anything. You can drink water. but that has been proven to reduce insulin levels. Any other questions with fasting? Did I answer that for you?
My time that I feel comfortable with now of eating dinner is like no later than 5, and then I don't eat anything until the next morning.
Mm-hmm.
And are you saying maybe move the dinner back to like 3 o'clock?
You can. Another thing to consider is, what is your fasting when you wake up in the morning?
As far as what my blood sugar is?
Mm-hmm.
After a fast, it's usually around 80.
Okay. So you have good blood sugar when you wake up in the morning, when
Yeah.
you discontinue eating at 5 p.m. until the next morning.
Right.
Then that's fine. That's enough for you.
Mm-hmm.
You're getting a good number in the morning.
So that 80 is when I do like a 16-hour fast.
Okay.
So like after I'll eat dinner. I won't eat the whole next day.
Oh, the whole next day.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's my idea of a fast.
okay.
And then the day after that, I'll check my sugar, and it's like 80.
Okay. What about during the day that you're not eating? Are you checking it throughout the day then?
Sometimes.
Okay.
It usually takes me to like 12 o'clock to get it around 100 or below 100.
Okay. Let's chat more about that together.
Yeah, sure.
There's just so many variables, and I
Sure.
don't know all the things, so
Yeah.
it's hard to give you good feedback on that.
Yep.
Generally speaking, if you're going to try fasting, try it for a small period of time, and then see if it's doing anything.
Mhm.
Right? Kind of like supplements. Like, we take so many, and it's like, okay, well, which ones do you actually need? Take them, take a vacation from them, and then put it back in one by one, and then see which ones are giving you the result that you want. And if it's not giving you any result, you can discontinue it. It's not working for you, you don't need it. The other thing about supplements is you don't always need them. But because I am talking about supplements, one good one that has been shown to reduce insulin levels, I shouldn't say insulin, we'll say glucose as a whole, is berberine, and a good quality berberine. And please, for the love of God, please do not buy supplements on Amazon. I have a full script account, so does Dr. Jaylene, and we are happy to order you whatever you would like, and a good quality supplement at that. So please do not order off of Amazon. A lot of them are fake or not good quality.
Mhm.
Also, don't buy them from Walmart.
Yeah, don't buy them from the drugstore. No, buy them from a really good, reputable source. And if you don't know what that is, research it or ask somebody like Dr. Jaylene or I that know. Okay, so diet, it's important to, again, meal timing, super important.
We have a question.
You have a question? Okay, I'll pause.
Okay, Heather says, what are suggestions when you work a lot, tired and exhausted all the time, and dealing with health issues to fit in fitness? I want to go for a walk or workout, but lack of time or being fatigued affects me greatly. I've been trying to figure out how to incorporate fitness, but it's been difficult. I feel like I'm going in circles.
Yeah. Your system's not working. So you have a goal that you want to work out. And that's great. But just because you have a goal doesn't mean that you're going to figure out the right methodology to get to the point of following through. So whatever you're doing right now is not working for you, and you need to try a different system. And what I mean by that is, what are you doing in order to set yourself up for success? So for some people that might be, if I'm going to go for a walk, I'm going to put my walking shoes by the door or somewhere where I have to see it at all times to constantly remind me that I'm going to go walking. And I'm not going to make an excuse. I'm going to go walk. If you want to work out, I do lots of timers on my phone. I have one that tells me when to go to bed. I have one that tells me when to wake up, when to work out, and I used to have one that told me when I need to eat. But now I'm in such a routine that now it's working for me. Building habits, especially new habits out of thin air, especially when you want them and you're too tired and too overwhelmed and too busy and stressed out. There's not going to be a motivating factor. So it's like, oh, I'm really motivated today, so I'm going to work out. But then the next day you're like, well, I'm really tired, and so I think I'll skip it today. And then the next day comes and you're like, oh, I think I'm going to skip it today too. So it's not about motivation. It's about creating a system that's going to work for you in order to make that goal your reality.
And I've heard you tell people to like not start with the 15 or the 30 minutes. Start with walking to your mailbox versus picking up your mailbox with your car when you get home. Like walk to your mailbox. Like that's your walk, right?
Yep, walking to the mailbox can be enough. For someone that I used to work with, he had purchased a gym membership and he wasn't going. He's like, I have a gym membership, I just never go. And I was like, cool, drive to the gym, sit in the parking lot. Think about the workout that you would have done. Go home. He was like, what? And I said, yeah, just drive there. Eventually you'll walk in. Just make it a point to go. What days are you going to go drive to the gym? And so he drove to the gym, and eventually he started going inside. And at first it was only like 15 minutes, and then he was done, and then he eventually worked up to now he goes in there for 60 to 90 minutes. It has to start somewhere. What's your system? For him, driving to the parking lot was enough to start getting into the system, getting into the routine of doing it. Hopefully, Heather, I answered that question for you. Also, your belief system has to change. I am full of energy instead of saying I'm tired. Because if you tell yourself you're tired, then you're going to be even more tired and you're going to be dwelling on how tired you are. I'm so busy. I have time to go to the gym. I have time to provide myself with self-care. All right, so we'll go back to diet. So meal timing, knowing your body wants to know when it's going to eat next. So having that set, knowing when you're going to eat, even if that means you set a time on your phone just like me, it's not silly, it's really smart. It works for me, it may not work for you. Find the system that works for you. I'm happy to help you find a system if you cannot. Hydration. Drinking water is super important. However, I will just, as Jaylene's like hossing down water right now, she just ate. So when we eat, our body is excreting all kinds of enzymes to break down our food. So it starts in our mouth, and then we have tons of enzymes that come from our gallbladder and all the systems, right? Okay, so when we're eating and we get thirsty, it's okay to take a sip. But if you're drinking a bunch of fluid while you're eating, you're diluting the enzymes, and it's creating a little bit of decay in your stomach, and then you're not properly assimilating foods, and you can have some type of symptom such as gas, bloating, reflux, etc., etc., etc. So I recommend not diluting your enzymes while you eat. And it's very common. You go out to a restaurant and they're like, what can I get you to drink? They're already setting you up for failure. Not that there's failure in that, just.
So don't drink anything during dinner?
No, you can drink. If you need to drink something, drink something. I'm just saying don't chug down like a huge thing of water afterwards.
You can still sip on a duckcorn.
Yeah.
You can still
sip on something, of course. Saying just don't overly think about it. I'm as properly assimilating my food, meaning I'm pulling out all the nutrients that my body needs to survive and thrive. All right, carbs. Carbs are super important because this is like a huge diabetic thing. They're like, I can't eat any carbs. Yes and no. So carbs that are going to be better for you are going to be like fruits that are berries or citrus fruits. Those are going to be lower glycemic, and they're going to be supporting your body in detoxification. Sweet potatoes are also another good one, but again, too much of something that's good is going to be a bad thing. Even somebody that has really good blood sugar regulation, rice will spike me like nobody's business. So if you're diabetic, rice is probably throwing you way off. I know that's a big one that people talk about, like, I really want my rice. Well, that's not good. That's a carb that's not going to be good for you. Potatoes are going to do the same thing. They shoot you right up because they break down very quickly into sugar. Yes.
What about if you cook the white potatoes, then you refrigerate them, and then you eat them?
It's better. But we want to do it in small quantities, right? So you're not going to eat like this big giant potato, right? You can have some. Restriction is, this is the only place where I throw in some restriction is with carbs, because you don't want to do too much, because it is going to keep your blood sugar high, and it is going to put your body into, that metabolic chaos until your body begins to regulate. So as your A1C comes down and your fasting is at a normal level consistently, not flexing all over the place every day, then you're able to start adding things in just a little bit more to see how your body's tolerating it. So just because you can't have it right now doesn't mean you can't have it down the road. Now, I also want to kind of say at the same time that all the work that you're doing to get better, for your body to heal, we don't want to go right back to the old habits that caused the issue to begin with. So carbs can be your friend. They can also be your enemy. But I would say if you are definitely in that diabetic range, I would minimize carbs. I would still enjoy them. I would just enjoy them less frequently and pair them with a protein every single time. Every single time. I would eat a protein first, vegetables. You can do that in either order. Some people say vegetables first and then protein, and then having your carbs after.
Yeah.
And that can also help to regulate your blood sugar and balance out those carbs. Yeah. Cool. Supplements, I kind of already touched on that, so we'll just keep it moving. All right, stress reduction. Fact or myth? Stress can be positive and negative. There's good stress and bad stress. Indeedy. I had the best time a couple weeks ago out to brunch with my friend, and we laughed and laughed and laughed, and my stomach hurt. Was that good stress or bad stress? It's great stress. It was nice to go out and laugh, but that did cause my body some stress. Now, is that going to affect me negatively? Probably not. Could potentially cause my body negative effects. But negative stress, I kind of want to touch on that a little bit because it's more than just I'm stressed with work or with a relationship or a friendship or any other kind of connection. Even your kids, they stress us out sometimes. Your eyebrow just went, oh. Stress can also be the thoughts that we tell ourselves. I'll go back to that again because that's super important. If we're constantly telling ourselves negative thoughts, then our body is going to listen to that and it's going to behave that way. Did you have a thought that came to mind?
No, just a prime example.
Yeah. So if you are, take a hypochondriac, for instance. They're constantly worried about something being wrong in their body. Do you think they're perpetuating disease? Yes.
The placebo effect is a thing that the drug companies hate for a reason.
Yeah, placebo effect. Yeah. You tell yourself positive thoughts. My body is healing. My body is a healing machine. My body's working for me. Body's going to keep on working for you. I'll go back to exercise for a second. So even if you are not actually working out, and you just close your eyes and you just imagine yourself doing this workout, just think about it. Imagine how it feels in your body. Imagine how heavy the weights are. And imagine yourself doing things that you actually can't physically do in real life. You will actually gain muscle mass. It's proven. I know it's a little out there, but it's proven. Not by much, only like 3 to 5%, but it's something. So the thoughts that we feed ourselves are good or bad or neutral. And neutral stress is a thing as well. All right, we'll just move on just a little bit, unless anybody has any questions. So some things that we can do for stress reduction is breathing exercises. My favorite one is a 4-7-8 breathing cycle. So you inhale for 4, you hold for 7, you release for 8. You do that 3 times and it is magical. It's like whatever was freaking you out and then you do it. It usually works. It's just we forget our tools when we're in the moment. But that's definitely my favorite breathing exercise. Honestly, you can just sit there and be like, I'm breathing in, I'm breathing out. And that can be enough. Okay.
What was it? That 4, 7?
4, 7, 8.
4, 7, 8. So
Breathe in for 4, hold for 7, and exhale for 8. And you do that for 3 cycles.
okay.
Literally takes 2 minutes. That's your 2-minute break. Routine helps with stress reduction. Knowing when you're going to be feeding your body, knowing when you're going to be going to sleep, having that wind down routine at night. Those are going to help our bodies be like, okay, we feel safe. Obviously, we go out sometimes and go to a concert or some kind of event or a wedding or whatever it is. And that's outside the norm. But then the next night you go right back to your routine. And it's fine. Your body regulates. Exercise helps. Journaling, meditation, prayer, chiropractic. So this is super important. Jaylene, if you want to chime in at any time, you're more than welcome since she is our chiropractic doctor. So chiropractic is for the nervous system. It regulates the nervous system. That is its main job, is to regulate the nervous system. So when we're talking about blood sugar dysregulation, we're talking about nerve damage. Well, how can your brain and your body communicate when there's so much damage due to the blood sugar being so high? One thing that we can do to help support the body is to provide chiropractic care so we give it the best chance it has at communicating. Is it going to fix the issue? Not entirely, but is it going to help? Absolutely, especially when we're talking about neuropathy. When you can't feel your toes, we want to be able to send those nerve messages as far as we can into the body. So that's the biggest point of chiropractic right there. Is there anything else that you would like to add to that? No? I think it's just super important. I think it's for everybody. Born that day, 90, 200 years old. I mean, it's for everybody.
Okay, we have another question. Can grounding help with stress reduction?
Absolutely. Absolutely. So going outside, and I think that going outside is one of the best ways to reduce stress. You take a screaming baby outside, and they automatically calm down. It's magic. Think about what that's doing to your body. You may not feel that way, but as soon as you go outside, you are automatically pushed into a whole new world. The effects of the ground are phenomenal. Of course, going outside with bare feet is optimal, but just being outside is enough, being in the elements. So emotional intelligence, this is called EQ, and there are different ways to use this, but really what it means is connecting to yourself, connecting to your body, connecting your mind to your body and your soul all together. Now, I like using the word soul, but really that just means your purpose, your passion, your connection to yourself and others. That's what I describe soul as. So you're connecting that outside part of yourself to your mind, to your body. So we're gonna stand up and we're going to do another one of my favorite exercises for stress reduction. Not that one, but we can do that one too. All right, so this one looks really silly, but I swear to you, it works, and it is the best with kids. So if you're listening to this and you have kids, this is the best one to do with them. They think it's silly, it's so much fun, and they want to do it. It's way better than being like, blow out the candles. They don't have the capacity to calm down that much. So moving the body is the best. So we're just gonna start with shaking our arms, and start shaking your legs, and then start shaking your whole body. Yep, get jiggy. All right, so what do you notice in your body right now? Any
Blood
difference?
flow.
Blood flow.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes,
you
I
can feel the tingling, the
vibrations.
vibrations, your energetic beings. So moving our bodies help to take down that nervous system and to awaken ourselves. Okay.
Heather
Next
has
back.
a good comment back. I have my daughter do that. Take her shoes off, have her stand on the grass and feel the earth below her. It's a natural stress relief. I believe it.
So one that Dr. Jaylene and I do together, or have done together, is the wiping method. So literally you are just saying, I am taking this stress and I am wiping it away. You can do that in the shower. You can just do it like this, but it feels good. Just be like, yes, get the ick off of me. Goodbye, stress. There's another one that we could do. I will facilitate it. If you'd like, you can lay down on the floor or you can sit in a chair, whichever one makes you more comfortable. It is better if you lay down, but you can do it sitting up as well. So I want you to sit up in your chair all the way. So if that means scooting to the edge of your seat to be able to get in a good upright position. And what I want you to do is I only want you to move your head and your eyes and your body are going to stay forward. So first you're going to turn to the right, but you're going to keep looking as far straight or the opposite way as you can. So turning your right head, looking left as far as you can. I know it feels really strange. And you don't want to hold this for more than 60 seconds. You may notice that your body wants to sigh or yawn or sneeze or something, some kind of reaction from the body. It's almost straining your eyes how far to the left you are looking. Once you have some kind of reaction, you can discontinue and you can like blink your eyes a couple times. And then you're going to turn your head to the left and looking as far right as you can, keeping your body straight. I know it's a little difficult. It's better when you're laying down because when you're laying down, you can cradle your hands to hold your neck. And then that way you can only move your eyes as you're laying down flat on the floor. And you'll just keep on, did it happen for you? Yeah. So you might, I should have told you before, but you might be yawning for a couple hours. I had one lady do it and she could not stop yawning for hours. But this is a reset for the body. It's a nervous system reset. And you can do it once a week. I wouldn't do it every day. It might be too much for the body, but I do it like once a week where I just need a full reset and I do it laying down on the floor. I cradle my neck to hold my head on the floor. And then that way all I can move is my eyes because when I'm sitting up, I feel so tempted to move something else, my chest or something. But it's better if your neck is stationary on the floor or sitting up. Okay. Some other forms of emotional intelligence to kind of connect back to your body is using your senses. So another good one is, just rubbing your fingers together and then just noticing the sensations. Notice the ridges on your fingers. Notice the temperature. Just notice whatever you can about that. Something I do is I just mess with my ring and it brings my awareness to something back to myself because the ring is on my finger. I can feel it rubbing up against my skin as I'm twisting it around my finger. A lot of people do that as a nervous habit. Well, if you use it intentionally, it could be something that helps to connect you and calm you down, right? All right, another one is, just looking at something, picking something in the room, and then you just look at it and you put so much attention to it that you've never noticed things about it before. Like, wow, I've never really noticed the shape. What color is that actually? Just notice anything that you can about it. You can do that with each of your senses. So whether it's smell, whether it's hearing, you can listen to something the furthest away and then listen to something that's the closest to you. Sometimes it's your own heartbeat if it's very, very quiet. And then just do that for a couple of minutes or as long as you need to calm down and reconnect back to yourself. As adults, it's much easier to do these exercises. With children, they don't quite have that ability to self-regulate the way that we can. But if you do it every single day, then you'll build that mental muscle to be able to calm down naturally. You'll notice yourself just doing it without even thinking about it because your body needed to down-regulate. There's also another one called progressive muscle relaxation technique. You can write that one down if you want, PMR, and that is just tightening a part of your body. So So I'm just tightening my fist as much as I can and then releasing and just noticing the sensation. How did I feel before? And then how did I feel after? And then tensing up something else. And then releasing. Okay. Any other stress reduction tools that have worked for you guys or that you enjoy?
I think when I go on the treadmill, there's these grips that you squeeze it to get your heart rate. Just gripping it, kind of.
Yeah. Just gripping the.
Yeah, I just like the sensation.
Okay.
Yeah.
See? Great. The sensation, right? Your senses bring you back to yourself, and then you're like, oh, actually, I'm okay. Makes you feel safe. When you are with yourself is the person that you know fully, you love fully, and it should be home. It should feel safe. So when we connect back to ourselves by doing these different emotional intelligent exercises, even if it's shaking, like I am connecting my brain to my body. Okay. All right. Any other questions?
Going back to the fasting, actually, you
Okay.
put a thought into my head.
Sure.
Would you ever recommend fasting while sick so your body can?
Absolutely.
Okay.
So the question was fasting while you're sick. So that's something that I definitely enjoy doing. I'll do a bone broth fast.
Okay.
So I'm consuming something that's nourishing my body,
Right.
but at the same time, I'm allowing my body to rest.
Yeah.
So I'm not eating something causing the whole digestive system to light up. So some people like doing those like cayenne, lemon, whatever concoctions, or fire cider,
Yeah.
or elderberry, or anything else. Anything liquid is going to be your friend. Something that's going to nourish your body, but I would definitely say bone broth is my favorite when I'm sick, and I really don't eat unless I am starving when I'm sick. And normally when you're sick, you're not very hungry.
Right.
So staying hydrated and giving yourself something that's nourishing, and obviously you're wanting to prioritize rest, moving your body gently. Grounding is a great one, Heather. Yeah. Anything that's going to be supporting the body. All of those are important. You're still moving your body. You're still resting. You're still focusing on nourishing your body, and you're doing stress relief because your body's obviously under a lot of stress. So maybe reading or doing some yoga is great because you're reducing stress and you're moving your body gently. Whatever you want. Yeah. Okay. Oh, sorry. Phone call entering. All right. So thank you for coming. So I just wanted to touch base on my upcoming group coaching program. It's 3 months. 3 months is not enough to completely turn your health around, but it's certainly a good start. For some people, that's enough to propel them to be able to do it on their own. For some people, they need further support beyond that. But group coaching is very effective. That way you have the component of community. When you're doing things together, you're more likely to succeed. Obviously, one-on-one is great, but for some other people, they're like, oof, that makes me uncomfortable working directly with somebody. It's almost like I have to report back to them. But when I'm doing it in a group, it's fun. And we can all support each other. So if you would like to sign up for that, it begins on September 3rd. And then I encourage everyone to scan the QR code for the 60-minute strategy session. So this is a free 60 minutes with me to pick my brain and get very personal and ask all the questions. In return for that free hour, I just have a very lengthy form for you to fill out that is going to get super detailed and every aspect of your life. That way, when we arrive at the session, I have as much information as I can to give you the most individualized feedback. Yeah.
And to kindly write Carol a Google review for her doing that because it's amazing, and there aren't other health coaches that are offering it.
This is true, yeah. So word of mouth and reviews definitely supports small businesses like mine. So obviously I would love a Google review, even if just show up for my workshop. Did you receive valuable feedback that you feel like you can utilize in the future? Yay? Nay? Yeah? Okay. Cool. Well, if there is no other questions, Dawn, you're welcome to shut down the live. Thank you so much.